$200 a month. That is $50 a week. 1 skipped dinner. 3 canceled subscriptions. Most people spend that without thinking. And most people retire with almost nothing. And here is what almost nobody realizes. If you take that exact same $200 and drop it into one specific account every single month, the math makes $1 million retirement completely inevitable. Not likely, inevitable. We are going to track a regular guy named Jack over 40 years. You will watch his account do almost nothing for the first 4 years and then explode. And at the end, we will show you the single most shocking number in this entire story. And it is not the $1.3 million. It is how much of that Jack actually put in himself. Let's start where almost everyone quits. Today's dinner versus tomorrow's fortune. Jack is 25. Regular job, regular paycheck. $1,000 a month in savings feels completely out of reach. But $50 a week? Jack can find $50 a week. He looks at his monthly expenses. 4 expensive coffee drinks are gone. 3 streaming apps he hasn't touched since last summer, canceled. 1 expensive dinner out per month, skipped. He does not blow up his life. He just stops leaking money in small, invisible amounts. Suddenly, $200 is sitting in his hand every month. Now Jack has 2 options. Option 1, hide it under his mattress. If Jack does that for 40 years, he saves $96,000. Sounds decent, except inflation. The quiet force that makes everything cost more every year means that $96,000 will buy less than half of what it buys today. The cash loses power every single hour it sits still. Option 2. Put it into a simple index fund that tracks the S&P 500. The S&P 500 is a basket of the 500 biggest, most powerful companies in America. Tech giants, grocery chains, pharmaceutical companies, plane manufacturers. When Jack buys into an index fund, he owns a tiny slice of all of them. As those companies work, grow, and generate profit, Jack's money grows with them. Historically, this basket of companies grows at an average of 10% per year over the long run. Jack chooses option 2. He sets up an automatic transfer, $200 every month, the day his paycheck hits, before he can see it, before he can spend it. Jack is excited. He logs into his account after the first year, expecting to feel like a winner. What he sees instead is the exact moment where most people pull their money out and walk away forever. The invisible years, years 1 to 10. 4 years in, 48 months of skipped dinners and canceled subscriptions. Jack has put $9,600 of his own cash into the account. He logs in. His balance reads $11,800. He made about $2,200 in 4 years. That is not enough to buy a reliable used car. It feels like an embarrassment. This is the hardest part of the entire journey. Not because anything is going wrong, because everything is going exactly right, but it doesn't look like it yet. When your pile is small, 10% growth is also small. 10% of $2,000 is $200. You are still doing most of the heavy lifting yourself. Here is something most people never check. The amount you contribute is not just a number, it is a multiplier on every year that follows. Drop to $100 a month, final total around $600,000. Push to $250, $1.6 million. Every $50 decision in your 20s is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars at the other end. Jack wants to quit. He is looking at $12,000 and imagining a trip to Europe right now, today, with real memories attached to it. But Jack knows something important. The first few years are just about burying seeds. You do not dig up a seed every week to check whether it is growing. You leave it alone. Jack keeps the automatic transfer running. And then, around year 10, something shifts. The boulder reaches the top of the hill. What happens next in year 15 will completely change how you think about a $20 bill. The money employee, years 11 to 20. 15 years in, Jack has stayed calm through market drops, bad news cycles, and every temptation to touch the pile. Every month, without fail, $200 moved automatically into the account. His total balance? Over $80,000. Now, simple math. 10% of $80,000 is $8,000 a year. Divide by 12 months, Jack's account is now generating over $660 every single month in investment returns. He is still putting in his $200 manually, but the account is now creating $660 on its own. Jack's money has become an employee. It works 24 hours a day, never calls in sick, never takes a vacation, just quietly adds cash to the pile every single month, faster than Jack can add it himself. The six-figure tipping point. 3 years later, Jack is 43. His account crosses $100,000. At this level, 10% growth means $10,000 added per year without Jack doing anything. The manual labor phase of wealth building is completely finished. The machine is built. It runs itself. Jack is still driving a normal car, still working his regular job, still living a regular life. He does not touch the pile. And now we enter the final zone. This is where the math stops walking and starts sprinting. What happens between year 30 and year 40 will show you exactly why starting early is the most important financial decision you will ever make. The $800,000 explosion, years 21 to 40. Jack is 65, ready to stop working, ready to garden, travel, and be present with his grandchildren. He logs into his investment account one final time. The balance reads $1,270,000. Jack is a millionaire on $200 a month for 40 years. Now here's the number that changes how you see everything. Over 40 years, Jack contributed $96,000 of his own money. That is it. The other $1.17 million was generated entirely by the compounding power of the market. He did not earn it. He did not work for it. He just waited for it. Look at the split between year 30 and year 40 specifically. At year 30, Jack had roughly $450,000. At year 40, he has $1.3 million. In the final 10 years alone, Jack's account added over $800,000, more than in the entire first 30 years combined. That is how a snowball works. When it is the size of an apple, one full roll makes it the size of an orange. When it's the size of a house, one full roll doubles the snow it holds. All the massive rewards are packed into the back end of the timeline. Most people quit before they ever get there. But what about people who are not 25? What if you're starting at 35 and think you missed the window? The next number is not encouraging, but you need to see it. The high cost of waiting. Jack has a twin brother named Pete. At 25, Pete looked at Jack's plan and said, "I'll start at 35. I want to enjoy my money now." Pete waited 10 years. Same $200 a month. Same index fund. Just 10 fewer years. Pete's final balance at 65? $450,000. Jack's? $1.3 million. Pete lost over $800,000 by waiting 1 decade. If Pete wants to finish with the same number as Jack, he cannot contribute $200 a month anymore. He has to contribute over $600 a month for 30 straight years, just to match the person who started early with a modest amount. Time is not just an asset. It is the most powerful financial asset you will ever own. It cannot be bought back at any price. And remember, Jack stayed at $200 a month his entire life. As your income grows, even small increases to your monthly contribution compound dramatically. You don't have to stay at the starting number forever. Start small. No complicated moves, no risky decisions. Just 2 steps. Step 1. Automate the 50. Look at your bank account tonight. Find $50 a week leaking out through unused subscriptions, duplicate habits, or spending you won't remember in 3 days. Set up an automatic transfer so it moves before you can see it or spend it. Step 2. Protect the timeline. When the market drops, and it will drop, do nothing. Leave the machine running. The drops are part of the process. The people who panic and pull out are the ones who miss the explosion at the end. The system is simple. Patience is the hard part. Fuel the engine. Starting the $200 habit is step 1. But as your account grows, the rules of the game change. The strategy that builds your first $10,000 is not the same one that takes you from $100,000 to $1 million. If you want to see exactly how your strategy needs to shift as you cross from your first savings buffer into 6 figures and beyond, watch our breakdown, the 6 stages of wealth that nobody tells you. Or if you want a specific list of ways to find that extra $50 a week without feeling like you're giving anything up, watch 40 Tiny Habits that will save you thousands.